The frame has accumulated a lot of damage. I've had to keep going without any maintenance since landing on Sophia. Oh, give me a break. Exploding out of nowhere would be a really lame ending. I'm sure G-SOPHIA would never go out in such a dramatic fashion. Ribbit ribbit? Oh, you think that, Jason, but in the next 2 parts. Anyway, welcome to part 11 of Blaster Master 03. We are in the final stage of the game, or the penultimate stage of the game depending on whether or not you're going for the best ending. Eve is within arm's reach. Let's save her before she slips away forever. As for the bad ending of the game, I will show that, along with the first 2 games as bad endings, in an extra part. There are going to be 3 extra parts after Blaster Master 03. I'm not sure when they're going to come out. I may not do those immediately after this game is finished, but we'll have to wait and see. And I didn't even start recording those videos, so it may take a month or 2 to actually come out. But there are other videos in the works, don't worry. But for right now, I'm just focused on finishing up the trilogy, finishing up The Last of Us Part 2. Eventually. Don't worry, there are 8 parts of that left. And I got a special playthrough starting this Friday, so stay tuned for that. Oops, good thing Jason had the jetpack, otherwise I would have been screwed on that fall. Now, the Forbidden Sector is kind of split into 2 different areas. The mechanical base, where I'm at right now, which I assume is the Sophia Force base, or at least it was until the mutants took over. Can't get to this area just yet. And then you got the second part of this area, which is a bit more like an alien hive. That's where Eve is. The Forbidden Sector is without a doubt one of the largest areas in the Zero series. It also doesn't help that we have to get some access keys from the other areas just to get our asses to Eve. That's right, we have to backtrack to all the other areas of the game, not including Strangia because Kana's too busy smelling the roses. And also there are no keycards on Strangia. Kana Forbidden is pretty challenging without the NTSF ammo. Those flying blocks will block Khan's attacks. Redundant sentences, redundant! The boss's attacks range from a giant energy ball which actually passes through a block, so that's a problem right there, and a giant fucking laser which can be blocked by the blocks. The best ways to counter the laser is the trusty Aqua Shift, or you just hide underneath the blocks. Touching the walls will damage G-SOPHIA, so don't go too far left or right. I mean, if you really think about it, the elevator is going at 1,000 miles per hour, so of course that shit's gonna hurt. And here's Inti Creates flexing their graphics muscles with the parallax growing back there. Holy crap! I'm not playing Blaster Master. This is not a Blaster Master background. It looks like Freedom Planet, or the Mummy Demastered, or Blazing Chrome. The power-up I just collected is the wall drive. It works differently from the wall climb from 01. Instead of pressing the right trigger and being close to the wall like you would in the first game, in this game you have to jump onto the wall and cling it, and then press up in order to activate the wall drive. It's a good mode of transportation, but I'd rather just have the wall climb from 01 back. This one takes up SP, and not only that, you can't even drive on the ceilings here. I wanted an authentic spider tank, damn it. Anyway, as we get further into the depths of the Forbidden Sector, the enemies will start to become a bit more bizarre. As well as the subspace areas, they become more dangerous. However, if you get the dialogue with Leibniz about Jason's helmet crapping out, that means that Jason's reached the point to where he can survive in super-dimensional space without, any trouble. He can just live in there indefinitely. However, you do have to go into super-dimensional space without the tank at least 35 times. We need to disable the security or we won't be able to go any further. The release keys appear to be in different sections of this area, however, it looks like we need to pass through another area to reach the section. With the counter barrier and the wall drive I just found, G-SOPHIA might be able to take paths that weren't accessible before. I should be able to use the retry point to warp to other areas, to the Forbidden Sector. I was too fast there. So we're going on a detour after making it this far. You're taking it pretty easy, aren't you, you bitch? Sometimes detours are necessary. When Eve and I journeyed through space, it was thanks to our many stops that everyone came to our rescue. This is the only way to proceed. Getting impatient would be a mistake. Jeez, you are insufferable. I can't even make fun of you anymore. This is why I can't stand optimists. And this is why people despise you, Leibniz, even though I don't personally. I get it, there's a significant portion of the fanbase that doesn't care for Leibniz because he's an edgelord, and quite frankly, edgelords are overused in media nowadays, especially video games, just like the Valley Girl and the Big Dumb Guy. But let's face it, Leibniz is just awesome as an edgelord. And there's also Leibniz's choice to help, quote-unquote, help Jason out, even though he's not really helping. But he did help us out a couple of times. He gave us the homing laser, i.e. he was supposed to steal a tank, but Jason caught him. And also, he gave us a hint to go to Stranger in order to find the new Nisei herb. And if you take the time to talk to Leibniz, sometimes he'll inadvertently show his true colors, only to just go back to coldness because he softened up a bit. The reason why Leibniz is like this to Jason is because he sees a little bit of Eve and Lucia, his deceased support droid. But he can't admit that, otherwise the facade will be broken. Lucia is dead, but the specifics about her death is unknown. All that we really know about Lucia in these games is that Leibniz was with her at the time of her demise. And that's really about it. The super important character that's really a key to another character gets 30 seconds of screen time. And those 30 seconds are of a Force Ghost. I like that Jason has the secondary rifle attached to his left arm at all times. It's literally just the Andrea pilot's blaster rifle, but Eve repaired it in between games. She repaired the broken blaster rifle as a sign of respect, and also because Jason needed a grenade launcher. So I guess you can say that Jason really has
2 guns, bitch!
The fuck was that? Before I was rudely interrupted, Jason has the 2 rifles, the RG rifle, which is the grenade launcher one in his left hand, and the standard one he had since the first game. Jason's good, but he's by no means Frank Castle from the Punisher game where he can literally hold 2 grenade launchers in his hand. That was epic. If any game needs to be re-released, it needs to be that Punisher game. That was awesome. And no, not the Punisher game that was in the arcades by Capcom. I was talking about the PS2 one. That was awesome. Maybe Insomniac will make the next Punisher game. Who knows? I would buy it. This area keeps giving me life energy guards for Jason and not Sophia. Area 2 is the best location to start the backtrack on. That's right, the backtrack starts now, and so does the first half of the boss rush. It works almost like it did in the previous 2 games. It's segmented, but you have to go to different areas in order to access the different bosses. So, Area 2 is going to have the certain boss, and then I have to go to Area 3 in order to get to the other boss. But that's only for the first half of the boss rush. The second half is not exactly as globetrotting because every boss in the second half is in the Forbidden Sector. So without further ado, onwards to Sophia Metropolis. This song is still awesome. This is the only song in the game to get 2 variants for some reason. None of the other songs have that luxury. Or 3 variations if you count the advertisements. But yeah, this is the main theme of the game. And guess what this song is called? It's got a really genius name. The title of the theme that is playing right now is called Gaia Sophia Supreme Vehicle. I would say that's the most generic name for a song in this game, but there's literally the theme song, Mass Driver Facility. Guess where that plays? The Mass Driver Facility! The generic naming schemes don't really do justice for how good these themes really are. It's bizarre. Anyway, here's a new area with this new checkpoint that leads back to the Forbidden Sector, or just a different part of the Forbidden Sector. Boss number 1 of this boss rush may be a bit familiar. He returns from BMC2, and he's very, very easy. I won't spoil how he's easy, I'll wait to explain it during the boss itself. But first I gotta get to him. He's going to be in super dimensional space, with this asshole blocking me again. Oh wow. Good thing I don't have to worry about this anymore. You can turn the counter barrier off in the options menu, but why would you want to do that? There are a bunch of distortions here. Just leave it on. Yep, it's this dickhead again. Only except he's a king now. King Dickroller strategies are creating dimensional distortions, which normally kills the tank in one hit, but since I have the counter barrier, I can ignore that shit. That doesn't make you completely safe though, as King Dickroller has a couple of other different attacks, like this giant fuck-off laser that's about to hit me. God damn it! Just go to the left or right and hug the wall. This guy's weakness is the rain cluster and Liveness's homing laser. And with the homing laser, you can actually lock on to Digroller's eyes, all 6 of them, and do major damage. He's also got another attack. I should have said this before, but I'm saying it now. Never mind. He shoots out these asteroid rock things from his mouth that you can shoot out of the air. Like right here. Those rocks are part of a balanced breakfast for sandworms that look like they crawled out of Final Fantasy IX or something. Like I said before, you can turn the counter barrier off for this boss fight, and to be honest, the boss is not that much harder if you do that. You just lock onto all 6 eyes with the homing laser, and he'll go down in no time. You want to stay out of the air in the lower floor if you don't have the barrier on, because the dimensional distortions will spawn from there, and that could insta-kill you if you get caught. The giant laser does not insta-kill you, but rest assured it does hurt a lot. And I mean a lot. Our first security key of the day is security key 3. But wait a minute, why would you put the 3rd security key in the 2nd area of the game? But anyway, that's boss number 1 down. 7 more to go. There's no way I'm fitting all 8 bosses into a single episode. That's gonna be over an hour long. Which I'm not really opposed to, but still. And I'm not even sure if I can make videos that long because editing tends to crap out as soon as the 45-minute mark, so there's my problem right there. I have been thinking about redoing some of my older playthroughs in a long play slash, not really speedrun, but I can employ some speedrunning strategies type of video, but I'm going to need some better quality shit. And yes, I will be doing commentary for those videos because there was a point in time where I didn't do commentary for my older playthroughs, and that was a weird point in history for my channel. I was not proud of that. Out of all the videos I did for that period of time in 2019, I still think my very first video with Gunstar Heroes and Alien Soldier with the 7 Force fight, I still think that's my favorite. I also appreciate Mega Man X1 through 3 too, as well as River City Girls. But I'll most likely redo those games along with like Dynamite Heady, because I did that game and that was not at all popular for my channel. So I'll be redoing that too, eventually. I don't know though, I gotta see how I can do a long play format, and I'm gonna stick to like games that I can beat within 2 to 3 hours as opposed to like RPGs in a long play format, you know? RPGs and some Metroidvanias and Last of Us Part 2. I'm just gonna keep those within like regular Let's Play parts, you know, 30 to 40 minutes. story-based stuff, talky nonsense, yeah, you know. But for games like Sonic and Mega Man and space shooters, if I can make those one part, if I can, then I'm just gonna do it. I'm going to try to implement this next year when I get better equipment. Don't worry, Let's Plays are not over. People say that Let's Plays are dead, but they're not dead, they're just kind of evolving into some crazy shit nowadays. And just gotta go with the times, I guess. Make videos longer. As a whole, YouTube has changed into something crazy. Is it for the best? No, it kinda sucks, with the influx of drama and shit. But, look on the bright side, we still got some good channels out there. Some new and underappreciated, and some that have been around for 10 years and are still underappreciated because the algorithm sucks ass. No, I don't use the algorithm as an excuse. At least for me, but when it comes to certain other channels, I'm like, this doesn't look right. Shouldn't this channel be getting way more than this? That's just me, though. Anyway, I'm just rambling on like a damn fool. You'll notice that every now and then the G-SOPHIA sparks a little bit. And that's not even a gameplay thing, that's a story thing. Jason's been on the move since he got out of jail, and he hasn't had time to repair the G-SOPHIA. And that's usually Eve's job, but Leibniz is in the seat and he doesn't know a damn thing about the G-SOPHIA. I honestly did not expect the song to end right as the boss fight ended. Wow, that went differently than BMC2 now, did it? Anyway, boss 2 is down. I got key 1 for this shit. Now I gotta go search for the other 2 bosses. 2 bosses in this part, that is. I still got the other 4 bosses to tackle in the next part. And that part is 38 minutes long. I get lost in that area. It's kind of confusing. Next stop is going to be the North Satellite Zone. It's going to be that Turbo Tunnel section. I can't believe I'm calling it the Turbo Tunnel section. I got no other name for it. But you have to go backwards in super dimensional space in order to get to where you need to go. And unfortunately, we do not get to see Jennifer for the rest of the game. She does appear over the voice comms, but we cannot meet her in... Well, I mean, I guess you can meet her in person. She just doesn't say anything to you anymore. For some reason. I do appreciate that she actually gets a physical appearance in this game and not plastered onto the end credits of the game. I'm gonna keep saying that a lot, but that pissed me off. What's wrong with you, Metafight? Are you gonna put an important character like Jennifer in the end credits of your game? That's like putting Luke Skywalker at the end of a Star Wars movie. Oh wait, they did do that once, did they? Anyway, during the Turbo Tunnel section, you have to go down. In super dimensional space, that is. Go through the dimensional distortion and keep going down until the screen shifts. Then you'll make it to this new area. This tiny space rock, which is way more spacious on the inside than it is on the outside, use the spider legs in order to get through those mutant spider droids right there. that will always be silly. Grab the life energy guard and then drive up the wall. You have to deactivate the spider legs now, otherwise you won't be able to fit through that crawl space. You also won't be able to climb walls with the spider legs on. Apparently the planet Sophia has more landmass than it does oceans because everything is freaking emerald green here. Swim through the distortions to avoid the mother brains. Those tiny brains that the mother brains shoot out will disintegrate upon contact with the distortions, so you're practically safe. That brain is probably thinking to itself, oh, I'm fighting a god tank now, what am I supposed to do about this? But anyway, the brain's attacks get disrupted by the distortions, and you can still attack through them with the anti-SF ammo, so you can practically cheese it. Here's boss 2, we gotta go through this small dungeon in order to get to it though. There's a crossroads here, but it all leads to the same place. More razor blade mutants. The saw blade enemies remind me of that freaking weapon from Mega Man X3. I forgot the name of it though because it's freaking X3. That game is less than remarkable. And speaking of X, those 2 salamander bosses are back. Security Card 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Wait, what? I don't understand the Halloween movies, like there's so many sequels and shit. Like, how many universes are there in that film series? Either way, I always just go back to the John Carpenter movies, which is just, you know, the first movie and maybe the second one if you count that. And these new ones are pretty good too, and I like H2O. And everything else sucks. Halloween is just not that good a franchise. And yes, I purposefully did not count Season of the Witch because I think that should be its own movie. And a pretty damn good one too. I like Season of the Witch. I just don't think it's a good Halloween film though. Halloween is the franchise, not the actual season of Halloween. You should definitely watch Season of the Witch during Halloween because that's the best time to watch it. And we are back to the main part of the Forbidden Sector, which, what was with these color schemes? It looks so unimposing. It's just orange and baby blue. This looks more like Eggman colors than it does an actual final area of Blaster Master, but maybe it's just me. This still doesn't stop this area from being daunting to navigate, especially the second half. Oh, things get interesting in the second half of this. You get your final 2 weapons for the tank in that part. One of them's good, and the other one is completely situational. The situational weapon is a special case of what the fuck. It's literally a block creator that helps you create platforms. Yeah, that's about it. And that's the final weapon you get in the series. Well, it's not even a weapon now, is it? It's just an item. But never mind that, we're going to see those weapons in action next part, including the dumb one. Anyway, boss time. Mission accomplished. Sort of. Now we just need to get back to that elevator. It's a good thing that the elevator is 2 rooms away, and another good thing that the life energy guards respawn. Back to this checkpoint, slide down the wall and then go to the right, and then we'll start this little endurance round with enemies. This gauntlet will feature the side-scrolling SF drones. You just stay in the spotlight to keep the keycards activated. A lot of the SF drones and side-scrolling are not as powerful or quick as their top-down Jason counterparts. As you can see, I'm just kind of one-shotting most of these guys before they even spawn in with the ammo that was intended to kill them. You know what, in this footage, I kind of forgot that I had to stay in the spotlight in order to continue. This was my second playthrough of the game. When it was relatively new, that is. That was by far the hardest thing I had to do in this whole entire game. I'm being sarcastic.
Jason, do you read me? I have some info on Eve's DNA analysis. It really makes me wonder what kind of connection she has to the mutants.
Her connection to the mutants? What do you mean, Jennifer?
In the process of overcoming the mutant infection, she transformed into an organic life form close in structure to the mutants themselves. This is what we already established. From here, things get problematic. Before you arrived on Sophia, you defeated the mutant king Droevo, back in superdimensional space in Area Omega. In that moment, Eve's destiny was unfortunately reversed. When Eve, a mutant-like life form, defeated the mutant king Droevo, the capability to rule over mutant kind was passed down to Eve. Eve was then recognized as the new mutant queen. She is a girl. Eve is the mutant queen? There's no way. An MA support droid created to fight the mutants is now the mutant queen. Wow, this is just dripping with sweet irony. The droid who tried so hard to save you. The other pilots you raced to help. Me who flew around the universe to get them together. And you who defeated Droevo in the end. This is the very best we can do. All of that, and this is the result. What an incredible story. Don't you just feel terrible, Jason? You know, exactly like I do.
Jennifer, was everything we did until now all in vain?
No, it wasn't. Jason, Lightness, everything you did for Eve was right, no doubt about it. Things may not have worked out the way you wanted, but even so, it was thanks to all of your efforts that Eve could overcome the infection at all. Without that, she wouldn't even be alive. There's no way the path you took to save Eve's life could be wrong. If we hadn't fought back then, and if everyone hadn't come save us, everything we strove for in Area Omega would have been for nothing. That isn't the future I'm fighting for!
Hey, shut the fuck up there!
That's right, Jason. Keep your head up. Eve's DNA analysis still isn't finished yet. We've yet to fully understand the relationship between Eve and the source of the mutants' revival. We still have things we need to learn. We may need to be prepared for more painful discoveries, but I have to stay on my path. I must keep going. Exactly, that's the spirit. I'll contact you as soon as I learn anything else. I'm counting on you. Thank you for everything, Jennifer.
Oh man, I'm actually getting nervous because we're drawing near the end game, even though there's like 5 more parts of this left. And we still don't know what's going on with Eve. So next time on part 12 of Blaster Master 03, we're going to explore more of the Forbidden Sector. This guy always pops up at the worst time, by the way. It's like a sitcom aunt that nobody likes.